Nobody cares. Work harder. These words may sound harsh, but they contain a profound truth that can transform your life. I am here today to explore this idea with you, to peel back the layers and reveal the empowering message hidden within. How much time do you spend worrying about what others think of you? How often do you hesitate to pursue your dreams? Because you're afraid of judgment or criticism. If you are like most people, the answer is far too much. There's a liberating truth. Nobody cares. Not in the way you think they do. Not in the way that should hold you back from becoming the person you're meant to be. Now, do not misunderstand me. I am not saying that people are cold or uncaring. I am saying that everyone is far too preoccupied with their own lives, their own struggles, their own journey to spend significant time judging yours. And those who do judge, well, their opinions say more about them than they do about you. This realization that nobody cares as much as we think they do is not a reason for despair. It is a call to freedom. It is an invitation to shed the heavy cloak of others' expectations and step into the light of your own purpose. Think about it. How much energy have you wasted trying to please others? How many dreams have you put on hold because you were afraid of what someone might say? How often have you dimmed your light to make others comfortable? It is time to reclaim that energy. It is time to rekindle those dreams. It is time to let your light shine so brightly that it illuminates not just your path, but the paths of others around you. Here's where the second part of our message comes in. Work harder, because while nobody cares in a way that should limit you, you should care deeply about your own growth, your own potential, your own contribution to this world. Working harder is not about grinding yourself down or sacrificing your well-being. It is about aligning your actions with your deepest values and aspirations. It is about showing up for yourself day after day, even when it is difficult, especially when it is difficult. When you work harder in this way, you're not doing it for the approval of others. You are doing it because you understand that you have unique gifts to offer the world. You are doing it because you know that personal growth is the most fulfilling journey you can embark upon. Let me share a story with you. Years ago, I met a young woman named Sarah. Sarah had always dreamed of becoming a writer, but she was paralyzed by fear. Fear of criticism, fear of failure, fear of putting herself out there. She'd written countless stories, but they were all hidden away in drawers and computer files, never to see the light of day. One day, Sarah had an epiphany. She realized that her fear was based on an illusion, the illusion that everyone was waiting to judge her work. But the truth was, most people were too busy living their own lives to spend time critiquing hers. And those who would critique, well, they were not the ones she was writing for anyway. So Sarah made a decision. She decided to write for herself, to tell the stories that burn within her soul. She committed to writing every day, not for approval or acclaim, but because it was what she was meant to do. It was not easy. There were days when the words wouldn't come, days when self-doubt crept in. But Sarah persevered. She worked harder than she ever had before, pouring her heart and soul onto the page. And you know what happened? Not only did Sarah complete her first novel, but she found a sense of fulfillment she'd never known before. The act of creation, of expressing her true self, was its own reward. The external success that followed, and it did follow, was just a bonus. Sa you gap lexi or fiesta of an ad webro. When you stop caring about what others think and start working harder on what truly matters to you, magic happens. You align with your purpose. You tap into a wellspring of creativity and energy you never knew you had. This is not about ignoring feedback or constructive criticism. It is about discerning whose opinions truly matter and whose are simply noise. It is about building an internal compass that guides you rather than being blown about by the winds of public opinion. Consider the great innovators and change makers throughout history. People like Thomas Edison, Marie Curie, Martin Luther King Jr., or Steve Jobs. Do you think they achieved what they did by constantly worrying about what others thought? No, they had a vision, a purpose, and they worked tirelessly to bring it to fruition. They understood that the only approval that truly matters is your own. Are you living up to your potential? Are you being true to your values? Are you making the most of this precious gift called life? These are the questions that should guide you, not what will others think, but what do I think? What do I believe? What am I capable of achieving if I give it my all? Now, I can almost hear some of you thinking, but Wayne, is not it selfish to focus so much on myself? Shouldn't I care about others? Absolutely, but there's the paradox. The best way to care for others is to first care for yourself. When you work on becoming the best version of yourself, when you pursue your passions and purpose with all your heart, you naturally uplift those around you. your energy, your enthusiasm, your example. These things are contagious. Think of it like the safety instructions on an airplane. What do they tell you? In case of an emergency, put on your own oxygen mask before helping others. Why? Because if you run out of oxygen, you can't help anyone else. The same principle applies in life. When you take care of your own growth, when you work hard on becoming who you are meant to be, you have so much more to offer the world. Your cup overflows, and from that abundance, you can truly serve others. So let's break down this idea of working harder. It is not about burning yourself out or neglecting other aspects of your life. It is about bringing intentionality and purpose to everything you do. It is about showing up fully in each moment. When you are working, give it your all. When you are with loved ones, be fully present. When you are taking time for self-care, do it without guilt or distraction. Working harder means constantly pushing your boundaries, stepping out of your comfort zone. It means being willing to fail, to look foolish, to make mistakes, because that's how we grow. It means embracing challenges as opportunities for growth rather than obstacles to be avoided. But most importantly, working harder means aligning your actions with your deepest values and aspirations. It is not about conforming to society's definition of success. It is about defining success on your own terms and then relentlessly pursuing it. Let me give you another example. I once knew a man named John who had a successful career in finance. From the outside, he seemed to have it all: a high-paying job, a beautiful home, expensive cars. But inside, John was miserable. He had built his life around other people's expectations, his parents, his peers, society at large. One day, John realized that nobody really cared about his fancy job or his material possessions. The people who truly mattered in his life, his family, his close friends, would love him regardless of his career or bank balance. And the opinions of others, well, they were too busy with their own lives to give more than a passing thought to his. This realization hit John like a thunderbolt. He suddenly understood that he had the freedom to pursue what truly mattered to him. And what mattered, he discovered, was making a difference in people's lives. So John made a bold decision. He left his high-paying job and started a nonprofit organization focused on financial literacy for underprivileged youth. It was not easy. He had to work harder than he ever had before. There were sleepless nights, financial struggles, moments of doubt. But you know what? John had never been happier. He was using his skills and knowledge to make a real difference in the world. He was living in alignment with his values, and the passion and purpose he brought to his work inspired others to join his cause. John's story teaches an important lesson. True fulfillment comes not from meeting others' expectations, but from living authentically and contributing meaningfully to the world. So I ask you, what would you do if you truly believed that nobody cared? If you were free from the imaginary constraints of others' opinions, what passions would you pursue? What risk would you take? What changes would you make in your life? And once you've answered those questions, I challenge you, work harder than you've ever worked before to make those dreams a reality. Not for recognition, not for approval, but because it is who you are meant to be and what you are meant to do. Remember, the world does not need more people who are paralyzed by fear of judgment. The world needs people who are alive with purpose, who are willing to put in the work to make a difference. Now, let's talk about the obstacles you might face on this journey. Because make no mistake, when you decide to stop caring about others' opinions and start working harder on your true purpose, you will face resistance. Some of this resistance will be external. There will be people who do not understand your choices, who might even try to discourage you. They might say you are being selfish or unrealistic, or that you should stick to the safe path. But the most challenging resistance will come from within. Your own doubts, fears, and limiting beliefs will rise up to challenge you. That inner voice that says, "Who do you think you are? You are not good enough. You are not smart enough. You are not talented enough." This is where the real work begins. This is where you must dig deep and find the courage to keep going even when it is hard, especially when it is hard. How do you do this? By developing a strong sense of self, a core of inner strength that can weather any storm. This comes from self-awareness, self-acceptance, and a commitment to continuous growth. Start by getting clear on your values. What truly matters to you? What principles do you want to live by? When you're clear on your values, decision-making becomes easier. You have an internal compass to guide you, regardless of what others think. Next, set meaningful goals. Not goals based on what society tells you success should look like, but goals that align with your values and ignite your passion. Write them down. Visualize them. Feel the emotion of achieving them. Then, create a plan to achieve these goals. Break them down into smaller, manageable steps. Remember, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Your job is to keep taking those steps, day after day, regardless of whether anyone notices or cares. Develop daily habits that support your goals. This is where the work harder part really comes into play. It is about showing up every day, doing the work, even when you do not feel like it. It is about pushing through resistance, overcoming obstacles, and constantly expanding your comfort zone. But here's the key. Do it all with self-compassion. Working harder does not mean being hard on yourself. It means loving yourself enough to keep pushing forward, to keep growing, to keep becoming the best version of yourself. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small. Learn from your setbacks rather than letting them defeat you. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a good friend. And speaking of friends, surround yourself with people who support your growth. Remember, while it is true that most people are too focused on their own lives to spend much time judging yours, there are always those who will try to hold you back. Sometimes they do this out of their own fear or insecurity. Sometimes they do it because your growth challenges their complacency. You do not need to cut these people out of your life entirely, but you do need to limit their influence. Instead, seek out individuals who inspire you, who challenge you to be better, who believe in your potential even when you doubt yourself. Find mentors, either in person or through books and other resources. Study the lives of people you admire. What qualities did they possess? What habits did they cultivate? How did they overcome obstacles? Learn from their experiences and apply those lessons to your own life. Remember, every great achievement in human history started with a single individual who dared to dream, who was willing to work hard, who persevered in the face of doubt and difficulty. You have that same potential within you. But potential alone is not enough. Potential is like a seed. It contains all the possibility of a mighty oak tree, but it needs the right conditions to grow. Your job is to create those conditions in your life, but to nourish your potential with knowledge, to strengthen it with action, to protect it from the weeds of negativity and self-doubt. That brings us to another crucial point. The importance of mindset. The way you think about yourself and the world shapes your reality. If you believe that your abilities are fixed, that you are either good at something or you are, you'll be less likely to put in the hard work needed to improve. But if you cultivate a growth mindset, if you believe that your abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work, you open yourself up to endless possibilities. You see challenges as opportunities to learn and grow. You understand that failure is not a reflection of your worth, but a necessary step on the path to success. Developing a growth mindset is itself a form of working harder. It requires constant vigilance, catching yourself when you fall into fixed mindset thinking and consciously shifting your perspective. It means embracing discomfort, seeking out challenges, and viewing criticism as valuable feedback rather than personal attacks. Let me share another story with you. I once met a man named David who had always dreamed of running a marathon. But David was overweight, out of shape, and had never run more than a mile in his life. Most people, including David himself, thought his goal was impossible. But David decided to stop caring about what others thought and start working harder than he ever had before. He started small, running for just a few minutes at a time. He educated himself about nutrition and gradually changed his eating habit. He joined a running group for support and accountability. There were plenty of setbacks along the way, injuries, plateaus, days when he wanted to give up. But David persevered. He kept showing up, kept pushing himself, kept believing in his goal, even when progress seemed slow. And you know what? After 2 years of consistent effort, David completed his first marathon. But there is the really important part. The real victory was not crossing the finish line. The real victory was in the person David had become through the process. He had developed discipline, resilience, self-belief. He had transformed not just his body, but his entire life. David's story illustrates a fundamental truth. When you stop caring about others' opinions and start working harder on your own growth, you become capable of things you never thought possible. Besides this done matter reaching some final destination, there is no endpoint where you suddenly become successful and can stop growing. Life is a continuous process of growth and evolution. The goal is not to reach a place of perfect achievement, but to be in a constant state of becoming. This is why it is so important to fall in love with the process, not just the outcome. When you learn to enjoy the journey, the daily habits, the small victories, even the challenges and setbacks, you tap into a source of motivation that's far more powerful and sustainable than any external reward. Now, if you are only focused on the end goal, what happens when you achieve it? Often, there's a sense of emptiness, a now what feeling. But when you're in love with the process of growth itself, there's always a new challenge to tackle, always something new to learn, always a way to push yourself further. This mindset also helps you persist when things get tough, because let's face it, there will be times when progress seems slow, when obstacles seem insurmountable, when self-doubt creeps in. In these moments, if you're only focused on the end goal, it is easy to get discouraged and give up. When you're committed to the process, when you understand that these challenges are part of your growth, you can push through. You can find joy in the struggle itself, knowing that it is making you stronger, wiser, more resilient. This brings us to another crucial point, the power of persistence. History is full of examples of individuals who achieved greatness not because they were the most talented or the most intelligent, but because they simply refused to give up. Thomas Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." This attitude of viewing setbacks as learning opportunities rather than failures is crucial to long-term success. Persistency does not mean blindly repeating the same actions over and over. It means learning from your experiences, adjusting your approach, and keeping your eye on the ultimate goal even as you remain flexible about how to get there. It is about developing grit, that combination of passion and perseverance that allows you to stick with your goals over the long term. Grit is what keeps you going when motivation fades, when the initial excitement of a new project gives way to the hard work of daily practice. But persistence is not just about pushing through difficulty. It is also about consistency, showing up day after day, putting in the work even when you do not feel like it. It is about understanding that small, consistent actions compound over time to create massive results. Think about water dripping on a stone. A single drop does not make much difference. The constant dripping can carve a deep groove. That's the power of persistence and consistency. Your daily actions, no matter how small, are shaping your future. This is where discipline comes in. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. It is what turns your intentions into actions, your dreams into reality. Discipline is choosing what you want most over what you want. It is not about perfection. It is about progression. It is about getting back up when you fall, about recommitting to your goals even after you have had a setback. It is about forgiving yourself for your mistakes and then getting right back to work. Remember, every master was once a beginner. Every expert was once a novice. The difference? They kept showing up, kept working hard, kept pushing through the difficulties and self-doubt. Now, let's talk about fear. Fear is one of the biggest obstacles that keeps people from working harder and pursuing their dreams. Fear of failure, fear of success, fear of the unknown, these can all paralyze us if we let them. Fear is a natural part of growth. If you're not feeling fear, you're probably not pushing yourself hard enough. The key is to reframe fear as excitement, to see it as a sign that you're stepping out of your comfort zone and into the realm of possibility. Remember, courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is feeling the fear and taking action anyway. It is about recognizing that on the other side of your fear is your growth, your potential, your best self. I challenge you. What would you do if you were not afraid? What goals would you set? What actions would you take? Now go do those things. Feel the fear, acknowledge it, and then push through it. Let's talk about the power of belief. Your beliefs shape your reality. If you believe you can achieve something, you'll take the actions necessary to make it happen. If you believe it is impossible, you won't even try. This is where the concept of self-fulfilling prophecies comes in. When you truly believe in yourself and your abilities, you create the conditions for success. You work harder, you persist longer, you bounce back faster from setbacks. But belief is not just about positive thinking. It is about evidence-based confidence. It is about looking at your past successes, no matter how small, and using them as proof of your capabilities. It is about acknowledging your progress and using it as fuel for further growth. This is why it is so important to celebrate your victories. No matter how small, each win, each step forward, each obstacle overcome is evidence of your ability to succeed. Use these as building blocks for your self-belief. Now let's address a common misconception. Some people hear nobody cares, work harder, and think it means isolating themselves, going it alone. But that's not the case at all. While it is true that you shouldn't base your actions on others' opinion, it is equally true that we all need support and connection. The key is to build a network of like-minded individuals who support your growth. People who understand your vision, who encourage your efforts, who challenge you to be better. These relationships can provide motivation, accountability, and valuable feedback. Remember, even the most successful individuals didn't achieve greatness in isolation. They had mentors, supporters, collaborators. They were part of a community that fostered growth and innovation. So while you're working hard on your personal growth, do not forget to nurture your relationships. Share your journey with others. Offer support to those on similar paths. Create a community of growth-minded individuals who lift each other up. Let's talk about the importance of continuous learning. In today's rapidly changing world, the ability to learn and adapt is more crucial than ever. The skills that are valuable today may be obsolete tomorrow. The only way to stay relevant and continue growing is to commit to lifelong learning. This does not necessarily mean formal education, although that can certainly be part of it. It means cultivating a curious mind, always seeking to understand more about yourself, others, and the world around you. It means being open to new ideas, new perspectives, new ways of doing things. Read widely, engage in meaningful conversations. Seek out diverse experiences. Challenge your assumptions. Be willing to change your mind when presented with new information. This intellectual flexibility is a key component of working harder and achieving more. Now let's address the role of failure in your journey. Many people avoid working harder because they're afraid of failing. But there is the truth. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is a part of success. It is a necessary step on the path to achieving your goals. Every failure is an opportunity to learn, to grow, to refine your approach. The most successful people in any field are often those who have failed the most because they were willing to take risks, to try new things, to push beyond their current capabilities. Before you encourage you, forward, embrace your failures as learning experiences. Analyze what went wrong, adjust your approach, and try again. Remember, it is not about never falling down. It is about how quickly you get back up. Let's talk about the power of focus. In today's world of constant distractions, the ability to focus deeply on a task is becoming increasingly rare and increasingly valuable. When you're working harder towards your goals, it is crucial to cultivate this skill. This means learning to prioritize, to say no to things that do not align with your goals, to create environments conducive to deep work. It means training your mind to stay on task, even when it is difficult or uncomfortable. One powerful technique is to practice mindfulness. This is not just mean meditation, although that can be a valuable tool. It means bringing your full attention to whatever you're doing in the moment. When you're working, work. When you are resting, rest. When you're with loved ones, be fully present with them. This level of focus and presence not only increases your productivity, but it also enhances your enjoyment of life. It allows you to fully engage with your experiences, to find joy in the process of growth and achievement. Now let's address the importance of self-care in this journey of working harder. Some people mistakenly believe that working harder means neglecting their physical and mental health, but nothing could be further from the truth. Your body and mind are the tools you use to achieve your goals. If you do not take care of them, you are sabotaging your own efforts. Proper nutrition, regular exercise, adequate sleep. These aren't luxuries, they're necessities. They give you energy, focus, and resilience. You need to work harder and achieve more. The same goes for mental health. Regular relaxation, stress management, and activities that bring you joy are crucial. They help prevent burnout, increase your creativity, and keep you motivated for the long haul. Remember, working harder is not about grinding yourself down. It is about sustainable long-term growth and achievement. It is about becoming the best version of yourself. And that includes taking care of your whole self, body, mind, and spirit. Let's talk about the power of visualization. Many of the world's top achievers, from athletes to entrepreneurs, use visualization as a tool for success. When you vividly imagine yourself achieving your goals, you're programming your subconscious mind for success. Visualization is not just daydreaming. It is a focused mental practice where you imagine in as much detail as possible what it looks, feels, and sounds like to achieve your goals. This not only increases your motivation, but also helps you identify potential obstacles and solutions. So take time each day to visualize your success. See yourself working hard, overcoming challenges, and ultimately achieving your goals. Feel the emotions of accomplishment and pride. The more real you can make it in your mind, the more likely you are to make it a reality. Now let's address the concept of purpose. When you are working harder towards your goals, it is crucial to stay connected to your why. Why are these goals important to you? How do they align with your values and your vision for your life? Having a strong sense of purpose gives meaning to your efforts. It provides the motivation to keep going when things get tough. It helps you prioritize and make decisions that align with your long-term vision. So take time to reflect on your purpose. Write it down. Revisit it regularly. Let it be the guiding light that keeps you on track, even when the path gets difficult. Let's talk about the importance of taking action. All the planning, visualizing, and motivating in the world won't make a difference if you do not take action. Remember, dreams do not work unless you do. Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. Do not wait for perfect conditions. They rarely come. Instead, take imperfect action. Make mistakes. Learn from them. Adjust your approach. But whatever you do, keep moving forward. Remember, every great achievement started with a single step. Your job is to keep taking those steps, day after day, regardless of whether anyone notices or cares. In conclusion, nobody cares. Work harder is not about being callous or ignoring others. It is about freeing yourself from the imaginary constraints of others' opinions and focusing your energy on what truly matters. Your own growth, your own potential, your own contribution to the world. It is about understanding that the most important opinion is your own. Are you living up to your potential? Are you being true to your values? Are you making the most of this precious gift called life? Stop worrying about what others think. Stop waiting for permission or approval. Start working harder than you have ever worked before to make your dreams a reality. Not for recognition, not for acclaim, but because it is who you are meant to be and what you're meant to do. Remember, the world does not need more people who are paralyzed by fear of judgment. The world needs people who are alive with purpose, who are willing to put in the work to make a difference. You have unique gifts to offer. You have the potential for greatness within you. It is time to stop caring about what others think and start working harder to bring that potential to life. The journey won't be easy. There will be challenges, setbacks, moments of doubt, but I promise you, the person you'll become through this process of growth and self-discovery is worth every ounce of effort. So go forth. Work harder, push your boundaries, embrace the struggle, fall in love with the process of becoming the best version of yourself. And remember, it is not about the destination. It is about who you become along the way. The world is waiting for your unique contribution. It is time to stop caring about what others think and start working harder to make it happen. Your future self will thank you for the effort you put in today. As you embark on this journey of working harder and pursuing your dreams, remember that authenticity is key. In a world full of noise and distractions, your unique voice and perspective are invaluable. Do not try to be someone else or conform to others' expectations. Instead, embrace your quirks, your passions, and your individuality. It is these unique qualities that will set you apart and allow you to make a truly meaningful impact. Embrace the power of incremental progress. Too often, we get discouraged because we're not seeing immediate, dramatic results. But real, lasting change happens slowly through consistent small actions. Celebrate these small victories. Acknowledge the progress you are making, no matter how minor it may seem. Over time, these small steps add up to significant transformations. Consider the role of adversity in your journey. Challenges and obstacles aren't just inevitable. They're essential for your growth. They test your resolve, force you to think creatively, and ultimately make you stronger. When you face difficulties, remind yourself that you are not being punished. You are being prepared. These struggles are forging you into the person you need to be to achieve your goals. Cultivate a spirit of gratitude as you work harder towards your dreams. Gratitude is not just about being thankful for what you have. It is about appreciating the opportunities for growth that each day brings. Even your struggles are opportunities to learn and improve. This mindset shift can dramatically increase your resilience and motivation. Finally, remember that your journey of working harder and personal growth is not just about you. As you evolve and achieve your goals, you become an inspiration to others. Your success creates a ripple effect, encouraging and empowering those around you to pursue their own dreams. By working harder on yourself, you're not just changing your life, you are contributing to the betterment of the world around you. Now go out there and make it happen. The world is waiting for you to shine.